All right, we are here on campus at Guntersville High School with the first edition of Keeping Up with Guntersville Athletics, and we're here with head coach, the boys basketball team, Coach Self. Coach, how you been doing, brother?
Good, doing good.
Good to see you. Man, you know, we're at that time of year. It's always bittersweet for us here at Average Joe's. Football's starting to end and basketball's starting to pick up, but there's nothing like basketball season here, and I think in the state of Alabama, and you can attest to this yourself, it's changed a lot over the years, and to me, it's never been as fevered and as high-pitched and as watched as it is now. But how's things been going with you guys? I mean, you made a good playoff run last year, like inches away from the Final Four, but how's it been going ever since then?
It's been going good. Obviously, been working in the off-season. You know, football went real deep in the playoffs, and I really feel like their success in football carries over to the basketball floor. We have a majority of our varsity guys that play football. So we went ahead and started this past week with our non-football guys and really competed and got after it. But we're glad to have them back now. They had a successful season, a good run, and we hope that carries over to our on the basketball side as well. So this will be our first week with everybody back. Our first games this week with everybody back. So we're just we're a little behind the eight ball, a little bit behind it, but we're going to pick the pieces up pretty quick.
You know, there's a couple of things I was going to talk to you about. The first thing is Coach Reese talked about yours and his relationship, how good it is, and how it's good for the overall school that you guys do have a good working relationship. Unfortunately, we've been to places where it's not always like that, but to see the success those guys have and the success you guys had last year, how special is it for an student athlete to be playing here at Guntersville this time?
It is special, and I definitely think coaches have to communicate and be on the same page, because the kids, it really hurts them if they don't. We have something really special here. We have our head coaches of our major programs are on the same page. We communicate with each other. We do what's best for the athlete. One thing about Coach Reese and that staff, I mean, that's one of the best football staffs in the state of Alabama. Year in and year out, they're always prepared. You see it on the field every Friday night. They always have a chance to win, and they win a lot of ball games. And it's Coach Reese and the whole entire staff. And so you know they're going to be well coached over there. You know they're going to be pushed. They're going to be challenged. They're going to be loved. I mean, everything they get on that football side of things that then carries back over here. So I just think it's just a great thing we have here at Guntersville. We know we have to share athletes, like his receivers and his playmakers are the same people who are going to making plays for us. If they were focused just on basketball, it would affect the football program. If they focus just on football, it'd affect the basketball program. So I think with us being on the same page, knowing we got to share athletes, and you see the success year in and year out with all the multiple sports.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to watch, and you can tell the chemistry on the football field is going to carry over in this basketball, and I've seen it last year from football to basketball. Look to see the same thing again this season. The other thing I was going to talk to you about, it's a special time here at Guntersville. For a lot of people who do not know, you guys are creating this, I don't know how, multi-million-dollar school here. I think it's $70 million or something. I'm just throwing that out there, somewhere in that ballpark. How challenging is that? I know it's positive and it's a good thing, but it's a distraction somewhat. I mean, how are you guys approaching that?
Well, I think, number one, just appreciate the vision for getting it done. You know, our superintendent, Jason Barnett, came in and had the vision to get it done along with the board, and I'm sure many other people that were involved with it. It was time for a new school. Yeah. I mean, our facilities here need an upgrade, and we need to be the best of the best. That's in Marshall County. Our principal, Dr. Enlow, and as well as administration period, have made it pretty flawlessly. Like, we don't have any issues with construction. They opened the gates for us to exit out. Like, it's just been a really, like, you almost don't know it's there as they're building it. And it's just something great for us to look forward. I think as of right now, they're going to be covered and dry at the end of this month, and we're moving in maybe next December. And so, it's going to be, we want it to be the best of the best. And then hopefully the gym is on the second tier of it with the brand new state-of-the-art gym. We've kind of been involved with that process of it. So, I mean, Guntersville High School and Athletics is fixing to take that next step with these top-tier facilities.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a good problem to have.
Yes.
Now, let's dive into this team specifically. As I said before, you guys made a deep run there at Jacksonville, literally seconds away from the Final Four last year. You've also had a football team that's had a tremendous run, made it all the way to the semifinals in football, and just actually lost this last Friday to the defending 5A state champs. But With all that being said, you've got a job to do. Whether your guys are here, you got to get younger guys. I physically watched you guys play Albert the other day. Played your guts out right here at home as well. But what has been the challenge, the biggest challenge? I know probably getting some of these younger guys is a good thing as far as depth and things like that. But name some of the other challenges you've had to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, you face them, as far as when you start the season. But what I try to do is this. I said, okay, where can we get a positive out of this starting the season without all our guys? Let's build this program. Let's get the future involved. So we moved some JV guys up to varsity. We moved ninth graders up to JV, play a little bit higher of a level, kind of get them going a little bit earlier than what they would have done. And then we have a really good eighth grade bunch, able to move them up a little bit to play some games. So it was a challenging week, but I'm proud of our resiliency, our effort. We lost to Albertville by 5. They turned around and beat Arab by 30. We lost to Gadsden City by, I think, 3. They turned around and beat Sylacauga by 40. So I was proud of what we did, undermatched, led by our seniors. But I'm glad to have our guys back now and glad we can kind of start putting everybody back in their position and keep moving forward. But it was a great week for building our program and building for the future, and I was really excited about that.
Now that you got your guys all back here, there's a difference in football shape and basketball shape. Yep. And I know some coaches of each don't agree with that, but there is. I played both. But what is the number one focus with you right now? Now that you got your guys back, because look, the bullets don't keep flying; they're going to keep flying. So that they didn't check and say, "Hey, let's check with Coach Self and see if it's okay to play them." Now the bullets are going to come flying early too. So how are you approaching that?
Well, I think you're exactly right. We learned that last week. All 3 teams we played. They weren't acting like we didn't have a bunch of JV guys out there. They were just getting after us, obviously, and same for us. We're starting area play right now. So we're starting area play really early. So 2 area games this week. I think the biggest thing I ask for them though is just bring that same toughness over, that same mentality. Come to work every day. Shots will eventually start falling. We'll eventually get in shape. It may be next week, it may be a month from now, but we'll eventually get there. But if they'll bring their toughness, if they'll bring their ability to work hard, along with the 4 guys who've been playing for us that didn't play football, I think once it starts clicking, we'll be fine. It's just going to be, the toughness, the rebounding, diving on loose balls, taking charges, that kind of stuff you can still do even though you're out of shape. And then once we get into shape and once we get our feet under us, we're going to be a tough team.
There ain't going to be no doubt about that. And, Coach, let me ask you another question. Who are some of these guys that you're going to kind of hang your hat on? Some guys that is in this locker room that's going to perform, and we've seen several of them last year. And who are some of the new faces that you're going to have guys step up in some roles?
Yeah, I agree. We're going to have 11 on varsity. And here's the thing about all 11 can play. And there's not much drop-off. So, like from our top guy to our bottom guy, there's not a whole lot of drop-off. So I'm really happy about how deep we are. Our returners, Jackson Porch is returning a shooting guard for us. We're returning C.J. Scott, who's now going to take a point guard position when you're replacing Fusel. He's heard it all off season. Who he's replacing, how much it's going to take. He's done a really good job for us. Oakley Howell and Trayvon Avery are also some returners. Date Peterson's going to give us some size down low. E.J. Havis just got selected to the All-Star game for football. He's going to give us some toughness. But a couple of names to look out for, some sophomores, Kalen Cobb, Dadrian Waller. They're guys that we want to take that next step for us, to kind of come in there and make some plays for us. And so, we're just really, really deep, 11 strong. And again, there's not much drop off. So I'm excited about the coaching part of it.
It's going to be definitely interesting. It's one of those exciting moments. It's an exciting time here. It's got to be exciting for you as a coach to get your guys back out here. And today I'm probably holding you up because you probably got stuff to do. Yeah, but before we get out of here, let's ask you a couple more questions. Yep. Number one focus in today's practice. So today's actually the first day, or did you get anything done over the weekend?
We started yesterday. I went ahead and brought them in, kind of light. This morning we went to the weight room session, got some shots up this morning. This will be our first full day. I think our point of emphasis today is getting up and down, getting our offensive system installed. Making sure we understand what we're looking for, and then we'll do some scouting stuff for our opponents as well. But really, we're just trying to cram a lot into a little bit of time. But because we're building, we have a program in here, so like we're running the same stuff in middle school and ninth grade JV and varsity. So it's not like we're teaching the new stuff over and over again. It's just kind of refreshing their minds and then getting going. But today's emphasis is just offensively, what we want to do, and then also getting up and down and playing a little bit.
And then lastly, just final thoughts on this first episode. And obviously, we're going to be back here each and every week, but just final thoughts up into this point of the season, how it's been going, or anything you want to talk about for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get going. This is a great group. We have a lot to prove. I think we have some unfinished business from last year.
Yes.
We were, 2 or 3 inches away from going to the Final Four. But it just wasn't our time, and now it's going to be up to us to put the time and effort. We're taking a workman's-like approach. We're talking about clocking in every day, punching in every day, showing up for work every day, and then the ones that put the overtime hours in is the ones that are going to pay off the most. And I think that's what we got to do as a team. And we got a hungry group. A lot of them were here last year when we had that heartbreak, and now it's just time for us to take that next step for us, and I'm excited to see that unfold.
Well, it's exciting times in the city here in Guntersville, how it's changed over the last couple of years. And Wes Long's a big friend of mine, along with others. But it's a unique city, and it's changing at such a rapid pace with a new school, and you guys have been crushing it at athletics. It's very, very good time to be here in Guntersville, Alabama, Coach. Thanks for having this first episode with us, Coach. We'll be back here each and every week, God willing, and with another episode of Keeping Up with Guntersville Athletics. Thank you.
Thank you.